Alright everybody, welcome to your fourth Node.js tutorial. My name is Mehul, and in this tutorial we'll be looking at how you create your own server in Node.js, or basically how you just create your basics first server in Node.js so that you can just get the thing started up. So in the last tutorial we took a look at what is require function and how you can just work with it with just some methods and variables hooked up to the response of the require. Well, in this tutorial I'm just gonna show you how to make use of this require function to import something called HTTP. Now this HTTP is a module, so this is a module and we'll be learning what modules are, which maybe in the tutorial 5 or 6 or whatever. Well, this is 4 I guess, so yeah, so I'm just talking about the next one. So anyways, I'll just take a look and you would obviously see the videos in the playlist by now. So what is a module we'll be discussing in this module tutorial, but why the heck haven't I used this thing right here? Instead, I just simply made use of this thing. Well, I told you that I'm just gonna tell you that in the module tutorial, but hey, I'm a nice guy, so I'm just gonna, you know, just quench your thirst by just letting you know why I have just written it simply as HTTP and not a ./HTTP. So in this file, what was the case is that this methods.js is our local module. So I'm just making use of this. I can just either make use of like that or like that. Well, obviously I would highly prefer using this approach instead of this one. And why? The reason being, let's just assume that the node has a official module with a name http.js. Let's just assume. So what happens if I just create a new file in here and just name it http.js? So when you include it like that, so node obviously doesn't know which one you are referring to your own local module or to the global module which is available to your script. So that might create conflicts and irritation as well. So to avoid that, what Node.js did is it said that you should always make use of this to load all of the modules which are local, or basically which are coded by you. So if you have an http.js file here, then this would simply make Node happy, and Node would say that alright, so that is a nice code line I see there, and I'll be happy to load this http.js file for you, and here you go, and blah blah blah, and the story continues. So anyways, getting back to the tutorial. So in this tutorial what we had to do is to create a simple server. So HTTP is another module provided by Node, and using this you can just create a simple server. And for all of those who are still wondering what the heck is a server, let me just show you a simple example to demonstrate that. Let me just close the unused applications, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. So let's just say this is my computer, which is the user which wants to visit your site, and let's just say this terminal is your server. So whoa, okay, so well, what the heck is that? Well, who knows, and who cares actually. So there you go. And now what happens is that this is server and this is programmed to receive some interaction from remote computers. So what happens is that when your browser or your computer tries to access my server executes a lot of scripts on its own computer first, and all of those scripts are coded right here. So all of these scripts which I'm writing here are just executed on my server before sending them to the user. So once they are executed and are ready, and basically all of the scripts cooperate and know that yeah, we are gonna send this data and we are not gonna send this data to the server for this request, then your server sends some data to the computer which is requesting that particular data, and that's pretty much it, how the server client interaction works in a nutshell. So okay, so enough of talking, and just let's just finally do something. So server dot create server, and let's just say this is engine, and what I want this is to listen to any port you like. So I'm just gonna go with 1337 because why not? This is the lead ports. So let's just make this engine as blank. So what happens when I visit this site right now? So localhost 1337. Now, as expected, this would not work. Obviously, because we have not even fired the node inside the terminal, so it should probably not work. If it works, then there's a problem with your code. Well, obviously. So now the next thing is that this create server accepts a function as I passed in here and created a dummy function, kind of blank function here. So what this function accepts or what these parameters will be, we'll be looking at that real soon. But what this listen is, so I hope you should know this, but if you don't, then here's a quick, just a quick mini tutorial on what this port number is. So every website has a URL syntax, something like, the protocol, which is your HTTP, HTTPS, then your subdomain, which is optional. Some sites don't have www, some do have. Then your website name, then your top level domain, then your path, and before this you have your port. So path, and why not just complete this out, and then you have the query, then you have the string, and then you have the hash. So that is the maximum information a domain can contain, and correct me if I'm wrong because I guess I'm right. So, a typical URL, pick up any URL you have, and you could eventually split that URL up into all of these components which I have written. So yeah, so what happens is that this 1337 is this thing right here, which is the port number, and default HTTP port is 80. So if you do like something like example.com, let's just say, and if I run it on port 80, as you can see, Google Chrome automatically removes that because that's some obvious thing. Similarly, for the HTTPS, the default port number is 443, and as you can see, Google Chrome again removes that because it is obvious. And if I do like 8080 or any custom port, then Google Chrome won't remove that because that might refer to some other port. Well, since Google doesn't work on this port, so this would kinda not load. Well, I don't want it to load either. So what this listen does is, as you know now, it would just say to the local host, yeah. So localhost would be our guy here. So listen to this port, and this port is this web address. So obviously it doesn't listen to it right now. So let's just fire off node, and let's just say node script 4.js. And as you can see, your node doesn't quit now because you are kind of creating a server right now. So node needs to run in the background to see which application or which computer is trying to access your website. So if I reload this now and wait a bit, you can see that it is not still this web page is not available, though it is currently not loading because I haven't just worked upon this function very well, this engine one right now. So if I just go to this networks tab and reload this again, you see we requested, but it is just waiting for localhost. It is simply waiting for us because there's nothing we are doing right here at the server. So just Node is just working and is just going crazy to us basically. So it is just saying that why the heck you haven't programmed this server, what the heck should I do to this user, what should I send, and all that stuff Node is saying to me in my headphones right now. So let's just go ahead and create some stuff here. So inside the engine, it would accept two parameters, request and response. So these two are obvious parameters which you can even think about if you give it a little bit time, because obviously in a server you need something or some information about what the browser is requesting to the server and what the response you want to send to the browser. So let's just say inside here I want request. Let's just leave request for now. Let's just write a response dot write head. Now this write head would accept again two things. Here's the status code and here's the object, you can say. So let's just get started on that. So status code is 200 and object is, let's just say, content type text plain, which is the MIME type for a text file, and response dot end hey there from the server. And so that's pretty much it. Let's just try to run this again. Clear node script4.js, and we have got something unexpected token. Whoa, kind of missed that. So you don't have to put the colon in the quotes as well. So this is obviously an object. This is the key and the value. Okay, no problem. And again, node is listening to the server. So let's just reload, and voila, you see that it says you hey there from the server. So yeah, so that's pretty much interesting and thrilling as well to see how your program is working. And as you can see that this localhost, if I take a look and if I just go down, you can see the content type here is text plain, and I can add my custom header as well. As you can just say blah 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 and from codedam.com, and again if I just reload the server and reload the page as well, you can see that it sends me this blah 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 from codedam.com header. So yeah, so that's pretty much it on this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we'll be taking a look at some more interesting thing which you can do with this server. And so yeah, so that's pretty much it for this one, and don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.